What happens when a man who sleeps with every woman he meets finally gets caught? Well, it's not pretty. Chief Alex had it all: money, power, and charm. He could have any woman he wanted, and he did. But when Amanda, his pregnant mistress, showed up at his doorstep, everything changed. His wife, Jullie, who thought he was a saint, was left in shock. Amanda was tired of being a secret and demanded to move in. Chief Alex, caught in the middle, tried to keep the peace. But with more secrets spilling out and Jullie plotting revenge, his life turned into a nightmare. The drama was just beginning. Jullie stood frozen at the entrance of her grand mansion, her perfectly manicured fingers gripping the doorframe. Her heart pounded so loudly she could hear it in her ears. Before her stood Amanda, a pregnant woman, belly round and full, eyes filled with determination. A suitcase sat beside her feet, a silent declaration that she wasn't leaving. "I'm moving in," Amanda said, her voice steady. "I'm carrying Chief Alex's child, and I refuse to be a mistress any longer. I deserve my place here." Jullie blinked, her mind struggling to process the words. The world around her felt distant, as if she were watching a scene from a movie. Her husband, the man she had loved and trusted for years, had done the unthinkable. Her first instinct was to scream, to throw Amanda off her doorstep, to call her a liar, a gold digger, a desperate woman chasing after another woman's husband. But Jullie wasn't a fool. Amanda's confidence, the way she held her belly protectively, and the way she stood tall despite the tension in the air. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was real. And it hit Jullie like a sharp knife straight to her chest. Her fingers trembled, but she clenched them into a fist. She wouldn't scream. She wouldn't cry. No, she refused to give Amanda the satisfaction of seeing her break. Instead, she did something unexpected. She smiled. It wasn't a warm smile. It was cold, sharp, like the blade of a knife. Amanda's confident expression faltered for a split second. "You're moving in," Jullie repeated slowly, tilting her head. "How bold of you." Amanda lifted her chin. "I'm carrying his child. I have every right." Jullie's smile widened, but her eyes were empty. "Of course," she said sweetly. "Come in." She stepped aside, gesturing toward the mansion. Amanda hesitated. She hadn't expected this reaction. Maybe she had expected Jullie to break down, to fight, to beg. But Jullie was calm. Too calm. As Amanda wheeled her suitcase inside, Jullie closed the door gently, her grip firm on the handle. Her heart was still racing, but now it wasn't from pain. It was from something much darker. Jullie wouldn't scream. She wouldn't throw things. No, she would make Amanda regret ever stepping foot into her home. She would make Chief Alex regret ever betraying her. Because if Amanda thought she could walk into Jullie's life and take her place, she was about to learn a very painful lesson. The real war had just begun. Amanda's next move. When she sees Jullie won't back down. Amanda stood in the grand living room of Chief Alex's mansion, her hand resting on her pregnant belly. She had expected resistance, but she hadn't expected Jullie to be this fierce. Jullie was not just angry, she was furious. Her once gentle face was now twisted in rage as she stood her ground, refusing to let Amanda take a place in her home. Chief Alex sat between them, his head in his hands. He had thought he could calm the situation, smooth talk his way out like he always did. But this time, Jullie wasn't buying his lies. And Amanda? She was not leaving. Seeing that Jullie would not back down, Amanda knew she had to change her strategy. Arguing wouldn't work. Jullie was too angry to listen. Instead, Amanda took a deep breath and put on the saddest face she could manage. "Jullie," she said, her voice soft but firm, "I didn't come here to hurt you. I came because I have no choice. I'm carrying Alex's child, a child who deserves to grow up in his father's house." Jullie let out a bitter laugh. "You have no choice. You had a choice when you slept with my husband." Amanda placed a hand on her belly, taking a step closer. "I know, and I regret how this happened. But please, don't punish my baby for our mistakes. I just want my child to have a father." Jullie's jaw tightened, but Amanda could see the slight hesitation in her eyes. That was all she needed. Seeing an opening, Amanda turned to Chief Alex, who was still trying to figure out how to handle the mess he had created. She walked over to him, gently taking his hand and placing it on her belly. "Alex, tell her," Amanda pleaded. "Tell her that this baby is yours. Tell her that I belong here." Chief Alex looked up, sweat forming on his forehead. He knew Amanda was playing a game, but he also knew she was right about one thing. She was carrying his child. He looked at Jullie, his wife, the woman who had always believed in him, and then he looked at Amanda, the woman who knew his secrets and was not afraid to use them. "Jullie," he said carefully, "I know this is hard for you, but the baby is innocent. We need to think about the child's future." Jullie's hands clenched into fists. "We?" she spat. "There is no we in this, Alex. You cheated, you lied, and now you expect me to welcome your mistress into my home?" Amanda wiped an imaginary tear from her eye. "I don't want to take your place, Jullie. I just want to be accepted. I want peace." But deep down, Amanda was not just asking for peace. She was demanding her place. Realizing that emotion alone might not be enough, Amanda decided to hit where it hurt. She needed to make Jullie feel powerless. "You think I'm the only one?" Amanda said suddenly, tilting her head. "You think I'm the only woman Alex has been with?" Jullie's eyes narrowed. "What do you mean?" Amanda glanced at Chief Alex, who was now visibly uncomfortable. She smirked. "Oh, Alex didn't tell you? I'm not his first, and I won't be his last." Jullie turned sharply to her husband. "Is that true, Alex?" Alex opened his mouth, but no words came out. Amanda had struck the perfect blow. Jullie's anger turned to something colder. Realization. Amanda continued, now feeling more confident. "There are others, Jullie. You're not fighting just me. You're fighting a truth that has been hidden from you for years. I just had the courage to come forward." Jullie stood frozen for a moment. Then without a word, she turned and walked out of the living room. Amanda watched her go, a small, victorious smile on her lips. She wasn't leaving the mansion. Not now. Not ever. Chief Alex sighed heavily, rubbing his face. "Why did you say that?" he asked Amanda in a low voice. Amanda shrugged. "Because she needed to hear it, and because I need her to know that I'm not the one who should be leaving." Alex looked at her, realizing something. Amanda wasn't just a mistress. She was a woman who knew how to play the game, and she had just made her next move. How Chief Alex tries to cover up his past mistakes. Chief Alex had spent years mastering the art of deception. He knew exactly what to say, how to smile, and when to act like the perfect husband. Every time he made a mistake, he found a way to fix it, at least for a while. But when Amanda, his pregnant mistress, showed up at his mansion, demanding to move in, everything started to fall apart. Jullie, his wife, stood frozen at the door, staring at Amanda with wide, disbelieving eyes. Chief Alex felt his heart race. This was not how things were supposed to happen. Amanda was meant to stay quiet, hidden like the others. Now she was standing in his home, exposing him in front of his wife. But Chief Alex was not a man who panicked easily. He took a deep breath and forced a calm smile. "Jullie, my love, please listen to me," he said, stepping forward carefully. "This is not what you think." Jullie turned to him, her face red with anger. "Not what I think. She's standing here, pregnant. What am I supposed to think, Alex?" Chief Alex sighed, shaking his head like a man carrying the weight of the world. "I made a mistake," he admitted, lowering his voice to sound regretful. "But Jullie, I never meant to hurt you. Amanda is just confused. She thinks moving in is the only way, but I will handle it." Amanda scoffed, folding her arms. "Confused? Alex, you promised me. You said you'd make me your second wife." Chief Alex turned to her with pleading eyes. "Amanda, we need to talk privately. Please." But Jullie wasn't interested in their private conversations. She stepped forward, her voice sharp. "No, Alex. We talk here now. Tell me the truth. How long has this been going on?" Chief Alex knew he had to think fast. If he admitted too much, Jullie would never forgive him. If he lied, Amanda might expose more secrets. So he chose a half-truth. "It was just one mistake," he said, placing a hand on his chest as if swearing on his life. "I was weak, Jullie. I don't know what got into me." Amanda's jaw dropped. "One mistake? Alex, you've been with me for over a year." Jullie's eyes widened. "A year?" Chief Alex clenched his teeth. This was getting worse by the second. He needed to shift the blame. Amanda, I told you we needed time, he said, turning to her, his voice low and serious. You can't just show up like this. You're making things worse. Amanda frowned. Worse? I'm pregnant with your child, Alex. You should be protecting me, not making me look like the bad person. Seeing that his usual sweet words weren't working, Chief Alex switched tactics. He softened his expression and reached for Julie's hands. Jullie, you know me, he whispered. You know I would never do something like this unless I was truly lost. I love you. I love our family. I let myself get carried away. But I will fix this. I will take care of Amanda and the baby. But you are my wife, my first love. Please don't let this mistake ruin everything we built. Jullie stared at him, her hands trembling in his. For a moment, doubt flickered in her eyes. Chief Alex felt hope rise in his chest. Maybe, just maybe, he could still control this situation. But then Amanda laughed bitterly. He's lying, Jullie. Just like he lied to me. Jullie pulled her hands away, her expression hardening. How many others, Alex? She asked. How many more women are out there with your children? Chief Alex swallowed. He couldn't answer that. If he did, it was over. Jullie, please. Don't please me, she cut him off. I will not be fooled again. Chief Alex watched as the woman he had always controlled turned away from him. Amanda wasn't backing down either. He had spent years covering up his mistakes with charm and sweet words. But now both women were standing against him. For the first time in his life, Chief Alex realized his lies were no longer enough. Julie's plan for revenge. Jullie sat in her bedroom, her hands shaking with anger. Just hours ago, her world had come crashing down. Amanda, a pregnant woman she had never seen before, stood at her doorstep, claiming to be carrying her husband's child. And not just that, she wanted to move in as his second wife. Jullie had believed her husband, Chief Alex, was a faithful and honorable man. She had defended him whenever people whispered about his past. She had trusted him completely. But now she knew the truth. He was a liar, a cheater, and worse, a man who had fooled her into thinking she was the only woman in his life. At first, Jullie had reacted with pure rage. She had screamed at Amanda, refusing to let her step foot into her home. But Chief Alex, always the smooth talker, had tried to calm the situation. He held Julie's hands, looked deep into her eyes, and begged her to understand. She's pregnant with my child, he said softly. We can't throw her out. Let's handle this with peace. Peace? Jullie had never felt so insulted in her life. As Amanda stood there smirking, acting as if she already belonged in the mansion, Jullie made a decision. She wouldn't let this go. She would not cry herself to sleep and let this betrayal slide. She would make them both regret ever thinking they could humiliate her. Jullie knew she had to be smart. If she acted out of anger, she would lose. Chief Alex had power, influence, and wealth. If she wanted revenge, she had to hit where it hurt the most. She secretly hired a private investigator to dig into Chief Alex's past. If Amanda had come forward, who else was out there? How many other women had fallen for his lies? It didn't take long for the results to come in. Chief Alex had multiple baby mamas, women he had kept hidden, women he had promised the same lies. Some of them were struggling, raising his children alone while he lived comfortably in his mansion. Jullie wist hem precies wat te doen met deze informatie. Jullie arranged a dinner at the mansion. She acted calm, even kind, as she invited Amanda and Chief Alex to sit at the grand dining table. Amanda, feeling victorious, sat comfortably, rubbing her pregnant belly. Chief Alex, relieved that Jullie was no longer shouting, smiled at his wife. Thank you for understanding, he said, reaching for her hand. Jullie lachte terug. Then she pulled out a folder and dropped it on the table. Inside were pictures, messages, and proof of Chief Alex's other children. Every woman he had deceived, every lie he had told, it was all there. Amanda's smirk disappeared. Chief Alex's face turned pale. You said she was the only one, right? Jullie said, tilting her head at Amanda. Funny, because I spoke to 2 other women today who thought the same thing. Amanda's hands trembled as she picked up the photos. Chief Alex tried to grab them, but it was too late. The truth was out. Jullie didn't stop there. She made sure the news spread. She leaked the information to people in high places, knowing it would ruin Chief Alex's reputation. Business partners pulled away. Friends whispered behind his back. He was no longer the powerful man people respected. He was a joke. As for Amanda, she got exactly what she deserved. She had come to the mansion thinking she would live like a queen. Instead, she was just another name on a long list of women Chief Alex had used. Jullie had planned her revenge perfectly, and as she watched Chief Alex's world fall apart, she felt nothing but satisfaction. The moment Chief Alex realized his life was falling apart. Chief Alex sat in his grand mansion, the very place he once ruled with confidence. He had always believed he was untouchable, wealthy, powerful, and charming enough to talk his way out of any trouble. But now everything was different. The once peaceful home was now a battlefield. Jullie, his wife, was no longer the calm and gentle woman who adored him. She had changed. She moved around the house with an icy stare, barely speaking to him unless it was to throw sharp words his way. Amanda, his pregnant mistress, had finally gotten what she wanted. She had moved in, but instead of the luxurious, peaceful life she imagined, she was living in constant tension. The real moment of realization hit Chief Alex one evening. It started with a phone call. His phone buzzed on the table. He looked at the screen, an unknown number. Normally, he would ignore it, but something told him to answer. "Hello?" he said. A woman's voice came through the line. "Chief Alex, I hope you haven't forgotten about me." His heart dropped. He knew that voice. It was Brenda, another woman he had secretly been involved with. But why was she calling him now? "Brenda, why are you calling me?" he asked, trying to keep his voice low. "Oh, so you do remember me," she laughed bitterly. "Well, I thought I should remind you that I'm also carrying your child." Chief Alex's hand tightened around the phone. His eyes darted toward the staircase. He prayed neither Jullie nor Amanda was listening. "Brenda, this is not the time," he started, but she cut him off. "Not the time," she snapped. "You didn't think it was the time when you made promises to me, did you? Well, guess what? I'm coming to your house right now. You can't run from this anymore." The call ended. Chief Alex's heart pounded. He stood frozen, his mind racing. He could barely handle the chaos between Jullie and Amanda. How was he supposed to explain another baby mama showing up? Before he could think of a plan, a loud knock echoed through the house. His stomach twisted. "Who is that?" Jullie's voice called from the dining room. Amanda, who was sitting on the couch, looked up suspiciously. "Are you expecting someone, Chief?" Chief Alex forced a smile. "Probably just a delivery. I'll get it." He walked toward the door, every step heavy with dread. When he opened it, there stood Brenda, dressed in a fitted dress that made her pregnancy impossible to hide. Behind her was another woman, Linda. His breath caught. Linda, another woman carrying his baby. "Surprise," Brenda said coldly. Jullie and Amanda appeared behind him, both staring in shock at the two women outside. For a moment, there was complete silence. Then Amanda turned to Chief Alex, her voice shaking with anger. "Who are they?" Jullie crossed her arms, her face unreadable, but her eyes burned with something dangerous. "Yes, Alex. Who are they?" Chief Alex swallowed hard. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. Brenda stepped forward. "I'm the mother of his unborn child. And so is she," she said, pointing to Linda. The mansion erupted into chaos. Amanda screamed at Chief Alex, calling him a liar. Jullie laughed bitterly, shaking her head. "A saint? This is the man I called a saint?" she said, her voice laced with betrayal. Amanda turned to Jullie, her anger shifting. "You see? You thought you were better than me. But look at us. We're all the same to him." Jullie clenched her fists. We are not the same. I was his wife. You chose to be his mistress. But now, I choose war." Brenda and Linda kept arguing, demanding answers, while Amanda cried, realizing she was not special. Chief Alex stood in the middle of it all, his once perfect life crumbling around him. That was the moment it hit him. He had lost control. No amount of money or smooth talking could fix this. He wasn't the powerful man he once thought he was. He was just a man drowning in the consequences of his own lies. The mansion erupted in chaos. Amanda screamed at Alex. The other women demanded answers. Chief Alex, the man who once controlled everything, sat there defeated. The next morning, Jullie packed her bags, not because she was running away, but because she was leaving on her own terms. She had already contacted a lawyer. Half of Alex's wealth was now legally hers. The mansion, the cars, the businesses, she had secured everything. Amanda, humiliated and heartbroken, had no choice but to leave. She had fought so hard to stay, only to realize she was nothing more than a pawn in Alex's game. As Jullie walked out the front door, she turned back one last time. Chief Alex stood at the top of the stairs looking at the ruins of his once perfect life. Jullie glimlachte. "Enjoy your regrets, Alex. You earned them." And with that, she walked away, stronger than ever. Chief Alex was left alone. His wealth, his influence, his charm, none of it mattered anymore. The women who once adored him wanted nothing to do with him. His reputation was in ruins. The mansion that had once been filled with life was now silent. For the first time, Chief Alex felt regret. He had played the game for too long, thinking he could always lie his way out. But now there was no one left to believe his lies. And so he sat alone in his empty mansion, drowning in the consequences of his own actions.